Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are back in my fish room, and it would be a little while since you guys had last seen my home fish room. So today we're gonna be hanging out. We've got a lot of fish to take into the store. So it's Monday today. On Saturday, we just finished up opening my brand new store in Rocklea. Go and check it out if you're a local. It's the best store in Brisbane, I think, and there's plenty more to come, but there are so many fish still in this room that need to go to the store. I won't lie, we're actually out of money. So I want to take a bunch of stuff in to sell and try and get a little bit of money back so that we can continue to buy cool stock. Yeah, we're currently in the process of moving into that place. We're back in my fish room today, and obviously I haven't been able to film this room because I've just been so busy working on the new build, and you've seen that through the channel. So we're gonna finally be able to get back into some day in the fish room videos. There's lots to show you, lots I've been working on off camera. This is my hobby. This is my personal private room. And when I don't feel like filming in here, I don't. This is just my space, my enjoyment of the hobby. We're gonna start with a tour today. I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around, show you what's going on, future plans, things like that. And then we're gonna start catching out some fish. We'll go to the new store, we'll have a look at it and drop those fish off. It should be a really good day. I think we also may harvest some honey from my beehive. I know it's not related to fish, but it's gonna be an interesting video. So hang around, stick around, let's go have a look. So the first things I want to start off with the fish room are some new additions, so some little modifications. The first one is this chair. This was an absolutely awesome find. So we just had the council clean up in our area. I think it might be Brisbane specific, but basically the council lets us throw all of our rubbish out onto the street and they come and pick it up. It's once a year and they do it in different spots throughout the year. But I was driving home one day and someone had thrown this chair out and it was quite dirty. It's gotten dirty again because Sam sits on it, so all Sam's hairs are on it. But yeah, it was quite dirty, but I thought that is perfect for the fish room. So I grabbed it, cleaned it up, got the wet vac out, and you should have seen the filth that came off of it. I really gave it a good scrub down. And now it's my fish room chair. So I sit in this and I get to roll around the room and have a look at all my fish, and it's just super comfortable and yeah, a really cool addition. Another thing I've added is a fish room TV. Yeah, some people might think this is excessive, but I think this is one of the best things you can add to your fish room because it's so cool to just chuck on some YouTube or watch a game of sport on the TV and be able to hang out in your fish room and do all the jobs you want to do. I actually found a TV on council pickup and I went to a massive effort trying to push it up, and in the process of putting it up, I smashed it. So it went straight back out in the street and I just ended up buying a new one. This TV cost me like 200 bucks. With the mount, it's been perfect. So I just put on some ambient sounds or put on like fish videos and stuff like that. And the TV is great. So I used to have shelves here. I've taken those shelves down. Yeah, this will be my like little TV spot. And what I'm gonna do now for my shelving is, you can see over here, I've got this little trolley with like cameras on it and cleaning gear and pens and stuff. At some point in the future, I'm gonna build in some new shelves and use that area for like storage and make it all neat, because we've just got like junk all over the place down here. But the tanks are doing really good. Some of the fish are breeding. You can see up here, we have eggs. Well, they've only started to hatch today. These are sapphire blue angels, and it was their first spawn, and you can see how bad of a job they did on the breeding. There's lots of infertile eggs, but some of them did hatch, so I tried my hand at actually raising these up, but they were from this pair that's over here. So a really beautiful little pair of fish here. You can see this is the male, and the females back there. I'd like to try and breed them. They'll breed again. They spawn on these tiles, and yeah, I've bred lots of angels. Next door, you can see I've been breeding a lot of bristlenose. This is my super reds, the males in the cave, but basically these were breeding in some of my tanks around the place. When the male was on eggs, I just took him out and put him in here, and he did the rest of the job himself. It meant that he didn't release all these babies into the planted tank where he was in. I think he was in maybe in that tank or that tank up there. You can see the baby goldfish have grown a ton. I might take a few of these into the store, but I'm half tempted to hold on to them for a little bit longer. The tanks are a little bit dirty and ratty, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to take some of these into the store today. These are the electric blue caras that I brought back to fry from Adrian. They've grown a lot, and they're definitely ready for new homes. But yeah, the whole room's looking pretty good. Like, some of the tanks could do with a clean, but that's pretty much every single fish room. So I've been pretty happy with how it's been going. Like, I haven't been able to spend a lot of time in here because I've been building my new shop, and now that's kind of coming to an end. I'm actually going to be able to spend more time in here, which I'm really looking forward to. But luckily for me, I do have my automatic water change system in here. Over on the side here, you can see there's like a tap down there. Basically, all I have to do is turn on a tap and new water goes into all my tanks. The way that system works is it's like an overflow system, or like a like it's a flush system. So we've got the water that comes in here on the left through this blue pipe, comes in, starts filling up the tank, and it overflows out the back on that drain. That drain goes out to my backyard. I use it for watering my gardens and filling my ponds, and it cleans the water through dilution. So you can see over here, we've got some more bedders growing out. I did do an experiment where I was breeding all different colors together. This was a koi cross, and you can see we've got some little sort of koi patterns coming through. Next door, we've got a red and a blue cross, I think, or a red and a black cross, can't remember. You can see lots of bristlenose fry. I've been breeding a lot of bristlenose just kind of accidentally. There's more in this tank over here too. And up here, I have some baby zebra plecos as well. So I've got a video coming out. The male is actually on eggs again. I think the video is going to come out before this, but there was a video of me rescaping this tank and getting them to breed. So that'll be really interesting if you are looking for like a video on breeding zebra plecos. You can see the house plants have probably grown a lot since the last time you would have seen this room. So yeah, the room is finally kind of finding its flow, like it's starting to look the way I want it to, really natural. Oh my gosh, what's Sam getting into down there? Yeah, everything's doing really good. So I'm gonna save doing like a big tour for another day, because today I really want to just focus on getting fish into my store. There's a lot of pulling down tanks that I've got to do and lots of little annoying jobs. So yeah, we're gonna do a full tour of this room very, very soon. We'll go in depth. It'll probably be like an hour and a half long video. We'll look at every single tank. Comment down below if you want to see that video, and I'll definitely make it. But yeah, today, what fish are we going to bring? So we'll start off with these. In here, I'm going to be tearing down this tank to catch out the fish that are in it. This tank has the Kalitawa rainbows in it. I've been breeding a lot of them. You can see over here, we've got some fry in these tanks. It's kind of always a little bit tricky to film them, but I've been breeding them and focusing on them a lot. They're gonna stay in here. I've got a ton of 201 babies. So L201 snowball plecos that I am going to be catching out of here. I'm going to be keeping a little colony for myself of about 5 or 6, and the rest are going to go into my store, and I'm going to sell them. We're going to be pulling down this tank. I'm also today going to be taking into store some of these beautiful peppermint bristlenose you can see in here. I've been growing these out in this tank, but I'm ready to clear out this tank and get this tank ready for something else. So I'm going to be taking these peps in store. We're definitely going to take some of the electric blue acaras as well today. There's some red neon blue eyes up here that I grew out before I left on my trip with my fiance to Europe. See them in the back there. I'm going to try and catch out as many of these as I can and take them in store. There's also this huge school of Congo tetras. I'm actually going to take these in store today too. This tank is way too small for them. It's time for them to find new homes. They look really, really good. I bred all these. I've got some split fin goodeids or split tail goodeids in here, which are also going to go. Yeah, it's going to be a big day. I'm probably just going to do a big time lapse, start catching out stuff. We'll take it in the store. What do you reckon, Sam? Ready to hang out with me today, finally? It's been a long time since we had some time together in the fish room. Hey, alrighty, let's get into it. Okay, so I've just finished up catching out the luminatus from in here, and I've caught out the peppermints from in here, so they're in the bags down there now. It's now time to catch out the L201s. So this is probably going to be the hardest ones to catch, but before I catch them, I just wanted to show you guys, I've got these mops up here, and this is what I'm using to spawn the rainbow fish in. Rainbow fish are ridiculously easy to breed. They'll go up there every morning and spawn like crazy. The males will attract the females, and what I'm going to do is show you how I hatch the eggs. So next door, I have my little hatching tanks. You can see we've got the first batch here. The second batch only had like 2 babies in it, which was kind of sad, but we're gonna be setting up this one. So what I will do is start off by moving the orchid. He doesn't need to be in here. You can go in the one next door. And I'll have these little air stones. What I do is I'll take water from the goldfish tank. You can see it's really dirty and disgusting. It's actually full of little tiny bits of algae and microscopic organisms. It's really, really good to use for hatching out these tiny fish, because when they're born, fry are tiny. Like, you won't even believe how small they are. So what I'll do is I'll fill this up with that water. I'll take the mop and I'll put it in here and I'll let them hatch, and then I'll start feeding them bug buffet. They'll start to hatch out like you can see in here. I don't know if on the surface you might be able to see little fish darting around. There's one, yeah. Once I see them start swimming around, I'll feed them bug buffet. And the way I do that is I'll come and get a pellet. I'll crush it up in my hands and get like this dust on my fingers, like you can see here. And I'll just dust that on the surface. I'll do that for both the tanks. And they'll eat those little tiny particles of dust. And I'll also feed them brine shrimp. You can see here, the fry are swimming around eating those little particles I dropped in there. And yeah, it's just a really easy way of doing that. So obviously because I'm gonna be tearing down this tank quite a bit and getting most of the fish out, I want to pull these rainbow fish eggs out now. The rainbow fish are going to be staying in here, but I just want to get some of these plecos out so I can sell them. Okay, I've now finished tearing down this tank. You can see I've set up the eggs to start hatching, so they'll probably start hatching in the next 24 to 48 hours. I normally leave the mops in there for a minimum of about 10 days, and that's what I do to breed my rainbow fish. But you can see I've pulled out a lot of L201s. So these are all the fish that I bred. I've sold a lot of them already, and these were ones I was keeping as backup. But today I'm gonna pick out my final breeding colony. Probably gonna grab about 6 of them, and the rest are gonna go into the store. So what I'm gonna do is pick out the biggest ones as my males and the littlest ones as my females. Probably only gonna do 2 big ones and the rest are gonna be little ones, and then they can go in store. So these won't be breeding for at least another 1.5 years. Plecos, for some reason, just take forever to reach sexual maturity. The reason I'm not keeping all of these is that I don't need like 30 adult 201s. I've already run into that mistake with my zebras. I should have sold them or split them up. I ended up losing all of them, so that was very sad. But yeah, today we'll be pulling them out, and you can see they're a really good size, so they're definitely ready to go in store. And I don't know how many are in here. I mean, someone can take a screenshot and count them. I can't be bothered. So yeah, what I'll do is we'll start off by picking out the males. I like the look of him. Maybe that guy there, that's a nice big one. If I was picking a breeding group, I'd pick like the biggest ones because the males seem to grow a little bit faster than the females. And then, yeah, the little ones will be your females. Okay, and since it's now spring here in Australia, my bees have been going crazy. So I've only harvested honey once, but they've already filled the frame that I harvested 3 weeks ago again. So what we're gonna do is they make way too much honey for me and Sanam to consume. Like, they make so much, and I've been giving it to my friends and family, but I decided we'll just bring some in and sell it at the shop. It's pretty straightforward to harvest out of these flow hives, and I'm probably only gonna do 1 frame today. Okay, we've got our containers ready. And the cool thing about these flow hives is it's literally just turning a tap. Okay, and here comes our honey. And there's our beautiful 100% raw local honey. This is the best honey I've ever tasted in my life, so it's gonna be exciting to get some of this stuff in the store and get everyone else hooked on it as well. And here you can see how much honey we made from 2 frames. So it's like a ridiculous amount of honey. And I reckon they're gonna be able to swap this and make this much again in about a month. So yeah, they do work. Busy little bees. All right, well that's all done now. So time to head to the store. I'll show you guys what I'm bringing. So in this first bucket, you can see a bunch of Congo tetras. These are massive, and I did breed all of these. And then here, we have a bag of Pseudomogel luminatus, so lots of people have been asking for them. Here we have some peppermint bristlenose, about 3.5 centimeters in size, ready to go. And then I did count these up. I had 24 that I'm bringing into the store, 201s. So we'll have a better look at them when they're in store. Here we've got some Godiards, just a scoop of them. And then what I've been doing, I've decided that I'm gonna bring 4 of my bedders into the store. What I do is I keep some of the best ones, grow them out, make them look really nice. I keep the ones that I'm gonna use for breeding and take the rest in store. So these will be, I don't know, 30 bucks each or something like that. There's only 4 of them. Here we have a bag of mystery snails. I'm bringing in some plant cuttings as well. I have tubs of frogbit, tubs of hornwort, a bunch of vallisneria, and 3 jars of honey. So let's get this all to the store and I'll go and show you guys how it's looking. Sammy, let's go. All right, in you hop, come on. So it's Jason's day off, but he still ended up in.
Yeah.
And your tools, you need your tools back.
I need my tools.
Have a look at the fish I brought. So I brought these Congo tetras, the size of them.
Nice, aren't they?
Yeah,
Homebred.
all homebred, yep. Except for like the pair that I used to breed them, which you can't even tell.
I think a couple of them come from me, didn't they, originally?
I don't know. Over here, the honey.
Homegrown honey.
Homegrown honey. I brought some plecos in. Also, L201s.
They're nice, I like them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like their spots too.
Yeah, they stand out.
They definitely stand out.
They don't seem to hide as much as like the other ones.
No, they're nice. Split fin Gadeeds, I don't know where they've gone. Oh yeah. That's the right ones, right? Split fins?
Yeah, split fins.
Got them. Oh, I brought in Luminatus.
We've finally got some fish in the nano tanks and cool fish at that.
Yeah. Right, so I'll just quickly give you guys a tour as well of the store. I guess we haven't really seen it. This will be like the first sort of vlog where we see it sort of functioning. So yeah, we stocked all the shelves up. I mean, there's still some empty spaces here and there, but we'll slowly fill them up. And there's still things to improve on, but this is our like main wall of tanks. So you can see it's very similar to that aquarium co-op look, but a little bit different. Yeah, we've got like 65 tanks on this wall. This is my favorite angle of the shop. And then over here, we've got our African cichlid rack, which we're slowly working on as well. You can see we've got a few electric yellows in. And obviously got our Congos as well up here because they're from the Congo. So they'll be over on this side. But yeah, we've got lots of plans for this shop. We're gonna be working hard over the next few months to get it all up and running. You can see we've got a huge plant tank here and we're ordering a bunch of plants in for this week to stock up our store and have it all ready for the weekend. But yeah, the store is looking really good. It's definitely a level up from our last store. Yeah, we're all very happy with it. Where were you? Obviously as well, we've built a huge waterfall tank. This is a video that's gonna be coming up soon. So me and Jason are gonna be scaping this out, mostly Jason, and we're gonna set this up. It's gonna be one of our big displays here in the store. So I'm very excited to get this one scaped up and get our customers enjoying it. But the shop's getting a little bit busy now, so I might head home, give everyone a bit of a hand here, but yeah, I don't wanna film while there's customers in here. So, Sammy, you ready to go home? Sammy? Yeah, someone's definitely here. Right, good morning, girls. So since the last time you guys have seen my chickens, we've actually added 5. We adopted 5 ex-battery hens. So, you know, hens I use for cage farmed chickens. And yeah, they've been living their best life. They've kind of settled in with the girls that I had previously. So we're pretty happy and they lay really good eggs. So let's go check it out. Give them a feed. You girls hungry? Oh my God. Yeah, go on. I didn't collect the eggs yesterday, so there should be a heap. Oh my God, what is this? We got 10 eggs, wow. Okay, so it's now the following day. So yesterday I went and dropped off all the fish. Everything went really well. Luckily this new store is only 10 minutes from my house, so it's super easy to get the fish there quick and basically stress-free. So they're all in. We even sold a few Acaras yesterday afternoon, which was kind of cool. Yeah, to finish off this vlog today, I wanted to give you guys some updates on some of the fish, and there's a tank that I need to tear down and we're going to talk about that. So first fish that I want to talk about is my chameleon whiptails. So a few months ago I got the opportunity to buy 5 chameleon whiptails from Finn at Atlas Aquariums. He bred them himself. They were quite small when he sold them to me, and I knew the risks going into it. So I bought them, took them home. Unfortunately, I lost 3 of the 5 and they were very expensive. This has nothing to do with fin or anything like that. A lot of people, when they buy these as juveniles, struggle to keep them alive, so it's not an uncommon issue. I'm not entirely sure why I lost them. It could be due to a multitude of reasons, but the good news is I do have 2 that are growing very, very well. They are constantly around each other, and I've been trying to sex them, but they're just a little bit too small. They're getting massive, and the thing that's really cool is they're finally starting to act like they would naturally. Now they're in here in this 2-foot aquarium. I've got some albino corydorus and obviously a ton of val in here. This tank isn't gonna work for very long. They're starting to get too big, and I've got ideas for where I wanna move them because this fish gets about 25 to 30 centimeters, I think, and my goal is to breed them. So yeah, I don't know if I do have males and females yet. We're gonna have to wait and see. I am gonna flash up some videos on screen, like holding their lips. Apparently the lips is the way to tell. So maybe someone who's a bit more of an expert can comment down below. Yeah, they're doing really, really well. I obviously would like to have had all 5 survive, but sometimes that doesn't happen with fish, and they are extremely rare, hard to find, and I just pulled the trigger on them because I would love to just have the privilege of keeping a fish like this. A lot of people don't know this, but here in Australia, we're quite limited in the fish species that we can keep, especially rarer sorts of things. So for instance, in our store at the moment, we have pandagaras, which are extremely common overseas, like in America when I was over in the US. You'd see them everywhere and they weren't expensive at all, but we have to sell them for $150. So the reason for this is that in Australia, we have a very limited import list. We're only allowed to bring in really common stuff like neons, cardinals, etc. And a lot of these sort of out of the brinks fish aren't allowed to legally be imported. So years and years ago, these fish were in the country and have been captive bred, and we've just got captive bred populations of these fish. It's not technically, I'm not a lawyer, but it's not technically illegal to keep these. It's illegal to import them. So whatever's here is here now. And hence the prices for some of the most common things are ridiculous. Like pea puffers a few years ago were 250 Australian dollars. So I get comments all the time of people saying, you're ripping off customers. We're not, we're paying handsomely to get these species into the shop, and that's why the price is so expensive. I'd love to be able to sell these fish for $30 to $40. The tank that we're gonna be setting up for these guys is my Amazon tank. I'm not entirely sure why Sam doesn't like coming down in the room so much these days. He constantly just waits at the door. I lock him in here sometimes with me because I want him to keep me company, but I think he likes sleeping on the couch upstairs. So this is the tank that I'm gonna be redoing. I'm not gonna be doing it in this video. It's quite a project to tackle. There's a lot of stuff to rip out of here and it's gonna be very messy. I wanna set this tank up as my chameleon whiptail tank. It's the perfect height where I'm gonna actually be able to see them. And what I wanna do is have kind of like leave this middle part at the front here open, just a sandy bottom, so that the whiptails are always in there. I think they're gonna grow like crazy. I wanna take a lot of these fish out. I wanna breed the emperor tetras. I wanna try and breed the rummy nose tetras, and I also wanna breed the cardinals. So I wanna split them all up, and we're gonna be redoing this tank in a future episode. So comment down below if you wanna see that. That's definitely one of our future episodes, but this will be their new home very, very soon. And to wrap up this video, we are gonna be tearing down this tank here. So I set this tank up. I'm actually pretty happy with how it looks, but the problem is the fish I've added, I can't catch out. This is what was meant to be my Hillstream Loach breeding tank. Breeding Hillstream Loaches is very straightforward, but I have not been able to get them to breed in here, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I set this tank up to have like a little mini waterfall coming out of the sponge filter in the corner. I thought that this tank being in the corner, it'd be a perfect spot to have like a very low minimal aquascape sort of tank, something easy to look at that just sort of takes care of itself. I find that having a fish room, the tanks that are in the corners like this and the one below it, they just end up getting ignored a little bit just because they're not in direct sight. So I find that these tanks are best to set up like passive projects, fish that either breed themselves or tanks that just look after themselves, like very natural looking tanks. This tank's been a success. If this was anywhere, it would work great. I've got a little native orchid that's growing. The philodendron's been pretty happy. And yeah, the scape itself looks cool. The waterfall has actually stopped working now. And I want to pull it down because I've got my luminatus in here. I've been trying to get these to breed. They've been laying a few eggs, but they're just honestly always hiding because of the rocks. I've also got my adult Hillstream Loaches. I desperately need to get these breeding again because They are so popular in my store. People are always asking for them and we can't keep them in stock. The Hillstreams have probably been breeding, but they have not been surviving because the red neon blue eyes would be just picking off all the babies. So we're gonna split them all up. I'm gonna set up the tank below for my Hillstreams and I'm gonna leave the blue eyes up here. Actually, I don't know. I'm gonna work it out. Let me get stuck into it. I'm gonna do a little time lapse and take all the fish out, show you everything, and yeah, work it out. Right, so I just finished draining this tank and I've left the Hillstream loaches in here. What I decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build up the rock wall this way this time. I'm gonna leave this spot open and I'm gonna have the sponge filter come out through the middle, I think. I might even add a little power head. I'm just worried about a power head blending baby Hillstreams. I also wanted to show you guys, I haven't removed any water. So with all of these rocks in here, this is actually how much water was in here. That was the volume of rock. So it was like 50-50. So have a look at how much rock was in the one tank. It was really, really cool to look at, but I don't know if I'm gonna do something like this again unless I only have like 2 or 3 fish because yeah, I'm probably a little bit lucky that I didn't run into any problems with ammonia or anything like that because there was a lot of fish in here and only a tiny volume of water. So what I'm gonna do is set up the time lapse again. We'll do a quick escape. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I just finished up on that quick little rescape of this tank and it's quite dirty as you can see. I'm gonna clean it up and it settles down a little bit, just give it a quick gravel vac. All of the luminatus are now out and it's just the Hillstream loaches. So fingers crossed they start breeding again. I'm sure they will. To breed them, I just feed them a lot of bug buffet and I also feed them lots of baby brine shrimp and even sometimes I feed them frozen bloodworms. Not very often, just once in a while. Yeah, they normally just kick off and breed in the bug buffet because it breaks up into a dust, helps them to do that. I'll film a little bit of B-roll of this tank later on when it's fully cleaned up. I think I'm gonna add some riffle shrimp in here. I don't see them affecting the breeding of the Hillstream loaches, and I'm probably also gonna add another power head just to really give this a bit of flow like a river. I might even add a few more rocks here and there and some little tiny plants. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.